She said his name and the entire restaurant went silent. My father froze with his fork halfway to his mouth. The woman standing at our table was not a stranger. I had been emailing her for 3 years. What my father did not know was that his secret family had stopped being a secret a long time ago, and they were about to destroy him in ways he never imagined. I was 16 when I found the first email. My father had left his laptop open and a notification popped up. It was from a woman named Claire. The preview said, "The girls miss you. When are you coming home?" I stared at that sentence for a full minute, trying to make it make sense. My father had been traveling for work my entire childhood. Sometimes he would be gone for 2 weeks at a time. My mother never questioned it. She trusted him completely. I took a photo of the email address, and I did what any teenager would do. I searched for her online. What I found shattered me. Claire had 2 daughters. Emma was 14. Sophie was 11. And in every single family photo on her Facebook page, my father was standing right there smiling like he belonged. He had an entire second life, a second home, a second set of children who called him Dad. And we had no idea. I did not tell my mother immediately. I was terrified of what it would do to her. Instead, I did something else. I messaged Claire. I told her who I was. I told her my father had been lying to her too. I expected anger. I expected denial. What I got was silence for 48 hours. Then she called me. Her voice was shaking. She said she had suspected for years, but he always had an explanation. Business trips, family obligations, a sick relative he had to care for. She believed him because she wanted to, and now she knew the truth. We stayed in contact. At first, it was just sharing information, trying to piece together the full picture of his double life. But over time, something unexpected happened. We became friends. Claire was kind. Her daughters were sweet. They had been lied to just like us. They were victims too. My father had stolen years from all of us. For 3 years, we planned in secret. Claire and I coordinated every detail. We compared his stories. We tracked his locations. We gathered evidence, bank statements, emails, photos, everything. My mother still did not know. I wanted to tell her so many times, but Claire convinced me to wait. She said we needed to do this right. We needed to make sure he could not lie his way out of it. Then one night, my father announced he was taking our family out to dinner to celebrate his promotion. He picked an expensive steakhouse downtown. He was in a great mood. He had no idea what was coming. Halfway through the meal, Claire walked in with Emma and Sophie. My father saw them, and his face went completely white. He stood up so fast, his chair fell backward. He stammered something about them being at the wrong restaurant. Claire looked him directly in the eyes and said, "No, we are exactly where we are supposed to be." Then she turned to my mother and introduced herself. She said, "I am Claire. I have been married to your husband for 17 years. These are his daughters, Emma and Sophie." My mother just stared at her. She looked at my father. She looked at me. I nodded. I had known. I had known for 3 years. My father tried to leave. He grabbed his coat and started toward the door. That is when Emma spoke. She was 17 now. She looked at him and said, "You told me my whole life that I was your priority. You said you worked so hard so we could have everything, but you were never working. You were with them, and you made me feel like I was selfish for wanting more of your time." Her voice cracked. My father stopped walking. Sophie added, "You missed my 13th birthday because you said you had an emergency work trip, but you were at her graduation. We saw the photos. You chose her over me." My father had no words. He just stood there. Then my mother did something I will never forget. She stood up, walked over to Claire, and hugged her. She whispered, "Thank you for telling me." Claire whispered back, "Thank you for raising a daughter brave enough to reach out." They stood there holding each other while my father watched his entire world collapse. We left him standing alone in that restaurant. My mother Claire and all four of us girls walked out together. Over the next 6 months, my mother divorced him. Claire did the same. He tried to fight for custody of all of us. He lost. The judge was not sympathetic to a man who had lied to two families for nearly 2 decades. He kept trying to contact me, apologizing, begging, explaining. I blocked him everywhere. Claire and my mother stayed close. We still see each other regularly. Emma, Sophie, and I are like sisters now. My father lives alone now in a small apartment across town. He has no family, no one who wants to see him. He chose to have everything, and he ended up with nothing. I do not regret reaching out to Claire. I do not regret waiting 3 years to expose him. Because when we finally did, he had no escape, no lie that could save him. And the two families he tried to keep separated became one family that chose each other over him. Sometimes people ask me if I miss having a father. I tell them I never really had one. I had a man who pretended, and now I have a family who knows the truth. That is worth more than anything he ever gave me. These stories are fictional and created for entertainment purposes only. Any resemblance to real persons or events is purely coincidental.